Hey guys, Brian here, and wow, wasn't that a great E3 last week? I was so pumped to give you all reaction videos to the press conferences. If you didn't check them out, please do. I stayed up very late to do those videos, to do the Sony videos, so if you don't mind, check out those reaction videos and tell me what you think. And with that being said, I'd like to dive right into our next topic, which is the Metal Gear Solid 5, the Phantom Pain trailer that dropped E3 last week. And I'm interested, it seems that every trailer that we see focuses on a different topic of the story. This one focusing on Skullface and his ideas of what makes a society, which is words and language. We also get a little bit of Skullface's background, not too much, but we do learn that when he was a kid he was taken away, presumably after he was burned. Maybe the people who burned him and killed his family took them with him, is what I'm assuming, and he must have been fairly small because he wasn't all there with, I guess, his parents' language, so he was forced to learn the enemy's language and act like them, and it makes an interesting villain to me, of this person who really doesn't have their own identity together, in a way. You know, his face is all burnt up, so he doesn't have, you know, significant facial features or anything, and he also doesn't have a self-identity in a way, like inside. He was never able to learn his native language and, live in the setting that he was supposed to live in. So it makes a very interesting villain, even though I'm interested in seeing how much of a villain he actually is, because from what I've seen in an interview that Yong Ye and Frag Nation did with James Horan, the voice actor for Skullface, he didn't do a whole lot of work from what he said. Only a few days in the VO booth. Maybe, from what it seems, that he didn't spend a lot of time on this game, and it even seemed that in some ways he couldn't really remember what everything he did for the game, which he's a very busy actor and voice actor, so that's understandable. But it seems that he didn't spend a lot of time working on the game, which makes me suspect how much of the game he's actually in. And we see bits and pieces of maybe Big Boss and Skullface teaming up, and I can understand that in a way, because at the end of Ground Zeroes, spoilers if you haven't played it, there is a part in the end where it's him talking to Paz, and they're talking about he's wanting to get to Cypher, like Cypher did something to him. So what people previously presumed of him being an actual soldier of Cypher may not be what's actually happening, and he seems to want to kill Zero. And so that leads me to believe that maybe the relationship between him and Cypher has gone sour, and we already know Zero and Naked Snake aren't exactly friends either, so maybe they team up and go against Cypher together. Now, what I'm interested in is if Kaz has the same, viewpoints on this, or if Big Boss potentially leaves Diamond Dogs at some point in the game. It would make for an interesting story, for sure, and that would also lead into him starting his own Foxhound unit, and so on and so forth. So I'm wondering if maybe in some point of the game that Big Boss actually leaves his Kaz with Diamond Dogs and goes off and does his own thing. And other than that, the trailer shows off. It talks more about language. First it's Skullface talking about it, Then we hear a little bit of Troy Baker's Revolver Ocelot talking about Skullface, and then we hear a little bit of Code Talker's voice in it. They show him off for a little bit, and man, that voice actor, who is a young guy, plays a really good Code Talker and definitely sounds the part. Then we hear a little bit of what I assume is Zero's voice. The only reason being is that it's a British voice. There's not many British folks in the Metal Gear universe quite like Zero, and if you're on Twitter, you already know that the original voice actor is not back to play Zero, so somebody else had to take up the mantle. Doesn't sound like Metal Gear Solid 3's Zero at all. Doesn't necessarily mean it sounds bad at all either. And I was reading in the comments of the trailer, some people were suggesting that David Bowie was in fact going to be the new voice actor for Zero. Don't know if that's true. Really cool if it is. They just mentioned that it kind of sounded like David Bowie. If that is true, that's really awesome that David Bowie participated in a video game, and thumbs up to him for doing that. Then we see some more, we see a glimpse of what everybody assumes to be young Psycho Mantis, and I do assume that as well with the, everything they're showing, the gas mask, the young friend, Psycho Mantis was a very skinny dude even in Metal Gear Solid 1, and this person that they show off is obviously a little person as well. And after they show him, they show some more hallucinations of sort. They show more of the Phantom that looks a lot like Volgin, the Fire Phantom, and just stuff that doesn't make any sense. Like, there's a part in the trailer where they show Paz, which looks a lot like Peace Walker Paz with the long hair and everything, and she has the scar on her stomach from Ground Zeroes, and she doesn't look like she's all there, but she shouldn't be there at all. There was a bomb inside her that went off, so presumably not even presumably, she's supposed to be dead. So is there some sort of cloning going on, or is this a dream that Big Boss has? I don't know yet. It seems very weird. We also see what looks like a fallen soldier that has earbuds in his throat, and then there's something covering up his midsection, and when they pull it up, there's this weird growth over his lung area, and it just looks weird. I don't know what sort of infection or genetical modifications may have happened there. It looks very odd, and I'm not sure what to make of that at all. Other than that, we see gray eyes in a lot of the trailer. First from Kaz, which, they make him look almost like he's blind. I don't know if that's true, if somehow even his arm and leg got taken, maybe they took his sight, or maybe there's something else going on, like what I said, genetic modifications or something of that sort, because a little bit later, we see the fallen soldier with the same gray eyes, and then even a little bit later, near the end of the trailer, Big Boss seems to have those same gray eyes. So I don't know what's going on there, if they're just, if this is just for, visual effects. Not sure what's going on. I doubt Kaz is blind, even though in a particular trailer, previous trailer, it did seem like when Snake was picking up Kaz and saying, "Kaz, it's me, I'm here to get you out," he didn't seem very responsive to looking at him whenever he was talking. Maybe Kaz did in fact get blinded. That would be super interesting to also see him have to go through that, and I'm sure that would piss him off even more. Other than that, there's a few other crazy stuff that happens. There's a part where there's a bunch of soldiers that get cut up with a helicopter that's inside of a building. Don't know what's going on there. Just all in all, this was a very weird trailer. Very interesting. Still makes me excited to see the game, or play the game, more or less. I'm almost sick of seeing these trailers. I just want to play the game, honestly. Let me see, something else about the trailer. The very end is very interesting in a way that he's walking down this corridor, there's bodies everywhere, and he's covered in blood, and the last shot, he just looks at himself in the mirror, and there's some dialogue to the effect, you know, talking about, like, how you evolving as a person to some effect, and he looks at himself in the mirror and smashes it. So maybe he's angry at, Big Boss is angry at some of the decisions he made, possibly regretting teaming up with Skullface, just a idea out there. And then at the very end of the trailer, they show off what looked like not only Eli, which everybody is saying is Liquid Snake, and what looks like Solid Snake as well, because there's two of them in there. They look the same, they're twins. One theory I have for this is, has anybody noticed that Eli looks more like Kaz than he does, Eli and even Liquid Snake look more like Kaz than they do Big Boss? Are these clones actually Big Boss's clones, and is Liquid Snake actually a clone of Big Boss? Or is it that Kaz was cloned and maybe something, you know, happens to the effect where Kaz can't take care of them, you know, possibly because he doesn't have a leg or an arm, and maybe Big Boss just takes up the mantle and becomes their father. Just a crazy theory I'm throwing out there. Another one that's kind of similar is maybe that Liquid is in fact a clone of Kaz, and Solid is Solid and Solidus, and I believe that's it. Solid and Solidus are the real clones of Big Boss. Just a theory I'm throwing out there, probably not true, but I just find it interesting that when you look at little Eli, little Liquid Snake, and you look at Kaz, they look very similar to me, honestly. But anyways, that's my time. I hope you liked the video. If you did, like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the show, and follow me on Twitter. I'm at Brian Poteet. Leave a comment below if you want me to talk about if you have a topic that you want me to talk about. And other than that, have a great day.